Imagine a game where you wake up alone in the dark in a creepy forest where every night something feels like it's watching you. And for the next 99 nights, your only goal is to survive in this forest. Okay, if you haven't caught on, I'm talking about 99 Nights in the Forest. And today we're going to be seeing if AI can recreate this game in only 1 hour. In today's video, we're going to be using Lemonade AI, which directly connects to your Roblox, which means it's able to edit, delete, and create scripts without you having to move a finger. Now that we're in Roblox Studio, the first thing I did was connect the Lemonade AI plugin. Lemonade basically only has 1 hour to recreate this, so I quickly gave it its first prompt. And what I've noticed from making games in the past, asking it to do everything all at once isn't the best way to go about it. And the first thing I asked it to do was to make me a forest. And if somehow your tiny peanut brain is wondering why I started by asking it to make me a forest and not by making a crafting system, a weapon system to fight the monsters, like a health and fatigue system that slowly goes down the more, a flashlight tool the player could use to walk around and see during the night, it's because the whole point is to survive 99 nights in the forest. And without this forest, we just basically have a bunch of systems that could happen in any other game. Okay, since Lemonade is now finished, let's see what it was able to make. After starting the game, I can see something looks very wrong. I'm pretty sure I didn't ask the AI to make a bunch of bushes, but this is not what I asked for. Walking around this makeshift forest, I can quickly see the problem. The models aren't anchored. And another thing I'm noticing is that these trees kind of look too realistic if we're trying to recreate 99 Nights in the Forest. So instead of immediately running to AI, I just basically opened the toolbox and got a tree model that looks more like the one from the game. After replacing the tree models and anchoring them to make sure they don't just fall apart, we ran into another problem. The trunks of the trees are basically stuck underground, so now it makes sense why the first time we started the game, it kind of looked like it was a bunch of bushes scattered around the map. So I'm gonna give Lemonade its next prompt so it could quickly fix this issue, and hopefully we now have a working forest. This actually looks great. Since we use the actual tree models from the game, it's kind of feeling like the deer might pop out here any second now. Okay, now that these trees are looking kind of perfect, let's move on to the next feature. Now that we have a forest with a bunch of trees, I think the next best thing we could do is give the player an axe. So just like in the game, they can chop trees down and get logs. I asked Lemonade to give the player an axe as soon as the game starts. So let's see if that actually works. Okay, at first glance, this seems like it's about to work. A demon from the depths of the underworld tries to pull me straight down to hell. Okay, that's not what happened. Basically, the axe was bugging me through the ground, so I just asked AI to fix that. And surprisingly, we now have a working axe. And yes, I did replace the axe model with a custom model from the toolbox. And now I can finally pursue my dreams of becoming a professional lumberjack. So in theory, if I chop this tree down, it should break, right? Okay, nothing happened. I asked AI to make the trees choppable and to drop logs when the trees break. Now let's see if this actually works. Okay. Chopping the tree. To my surprise, that actually worked. And it's pretty cool that it got custom log models. I did not do that at all. Here's a short montage of me pursuing my dreams as a professional lumberjack. Okay, the logs are a bit too big, but instead of asking AI, I literally just went into the model and shrank the size. And now they're perfect. Since we now have a pickaxe and the player is able to chop down trees, we're going to have to ask AI to allow the player to drag around these logs to any place he wants to take them. This is going to be very important because the player is going to need to chop down trees and take these logs to the campfire, which we currently don't have. But we should be good for now, right? Wrong. We only have 30 minutes left to get this system working, because without it, this technically would be a failed attempt. As the first thing you're supposed to do in 99 Nights in the Forest is to gather wood and put it in the campfire. After giving Lemonade its next prompt, this is what it was able to make. Okay, so if you guys are wondering, the prompt I gave to Lemonade is so when I click this log, technically I should be able to drag it around. The moment of truth. Okay, it works, but not like how it works in the game. I'm literally walking around with a big log in front of my face. Okay, we're gonna have to fix this because I don't like how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna ask AI to do a little tweaking to see if we could possibly get it to as close as it is in the game. And after AI doing its magic, we now have a working drag system. I also asked it to make a sack system where you could put some stuff inside a sack, inside your sack. I also ended up changing the base plate texture into more of a grassy texture so it could really feel like a forest. And now this is how the game currently looks. But with there only being 20 minutes left, I had to ask AI to add one of the most important features, which is the campfire. Because without it, cutting down all that wood would be for absolutely no reason. So I went into the toolbar because I didn't want to waste any more time. But I then asked AI to make sure that when the game starts, the fire is off until the player puts in a log, which they get from chopping the tree, right? Right. I also asked AI to make a day and night system because without it, there would be absolutely no reason to keep the fire on if nighttime never comes. At this point in time, there was only 5 minutes left, so I really thought this was the most we could possibly do in an hour. But something inside me told me with the power of AI, anything was possible. Because if AI can make the Will Smith eat a plate of spaghetti, then he could surely finish the rest of this game in the next 5 minutes. So I quickly got a model from the toolbox of a cultist. Then I gave AI a prompt and asked it to make them only appear during nighttime, which is when they would try to come attack the player. While AI was doing that, I tried to give the game a little more polish by working on the fire health UI. And before I could even do anything else, the 1-hour timer was finally over. And this is how the final game turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys free access to the full files of the game. So if you guys want to go reuse the scripts or download the game and make it better and somehow make it your own, all you have to do is subscribe, leave a like, and join the Discord link in the description. But with that being said, here's the final game. Okay, compared to the actual game, our forest is a bit smaller, but most of the stuff we tried to recreate actually works. So my goal right now is try to at least survive 1 night in this AI remake of 99 Nights in the Forest. I really don't know how powerful the enemies we're gonna have to fight during the night are. Please just let me go, please. But hopefully we could survive long enough to see the next day. So I started gathering some wood to keep the fire alive, and once it got to max level, I started storing some of the extra wood that I chopped down in my sack. I was so happy to see that everything we made was actually working properly, because if I'm going to survive a night in this forest, I'm going to need all the resources I can get my hands on. Now that the fire is hot and burning, and we have some extra wood in our sack, we just have to wait for nighttime. Days, they're here. Where did they come from? If you haven't realized what's happening, the fireplace isn't a safe zone. The fire doesn't do anything. The entire time I was collecting wood to feed the fire, I thought it was here to protect me, but it basically does nothing. And for the rest of the night, I was running away from these freaks. Unfortunately, I died, but luckily there was no game logic that said I couldn't come back to life. So I respawned and I saw the morning.